Vanishing Point, a novel by Keith A. Kenel, 90 of 101. Part 90. It turned out that Dr. Bikerman wasn't a man, that is. A hospital staff member brought Carla, Suzanne, Stacy, and Officer Rosenstock beyond the emergency room's no admittance sign. A diminutive young woman with a loosely tied, sand-colored ponytail wearing the ubiquitous doctor's coat stood just along a row of curtain-draped examination rooms. Her coat bore K.L. Bikerman, M.D., embroidered above her heart, and beneath the stitching were two tags, a smaller one that read simply Bikerman and a larger one bearing the letters M.D. Looking poised and confident, she nodded to Officer Rosenstock and said, "I'm Dr. Bikerman. Officer Rosenstock tells me that you have a personal interest in one of my minor patients." Carla, Stacy, and Suzanne looked from one another to Officer Rosenstock and back again. Tierney Rosenstock stood, hands loosely held in front of her, her face unreadable marble. Suzanne, after turning to her companions with eyebrows slightly raised and head tilted 3 degrees to the right, shrugged her left shoulder half an inch and took a step forward. "Yes, Dr. Bikerman," she said. "My name is Suzanne Lear. This is Stacy Shannon." Stacy's face raised in a half smile, partial grimace, eyebrow spike. "Sarah's teacher, and that's Carla Kaiser, mother to Sarah's best friend." Carla nodded, emitted an obligatory "ma'am," and hugged herself tightly. "I am the school secretary," Suzanne continued. "We're all very concerned about Sarah, especially Carla. It's her ex-husband who tried to kidnap the girl. We were hoping we might be able to see her." "None of you are relatives of hers?" "I'm afraid only relatives are allowed to see minor patients." "We're not," Stacy said, "but as you probably know, Sarah's mother was kidnapped by Caleb Morse along with Carla's daughter. Sarah's father is somewhere over the Atlantic. We're the closest thing to family Sarah has around here." Dr. Bikerman hesitated a split second. "Appreciate that. We have someone from Family Services on her way over. You should be able to speak to her shortly. I wish I could help." Officer Rosenstock cleared her throat. Doc, is Sarah well enough to be interviewed?" Dr. Bikerman's head drew back slightly, her furrowed brow emitting 3 quick blinks. "Didn't you all—" When she stopped and smiled. I see. So you're asking if the patient that you brought to me earlier is capable of further interview? Is that what you'd like to know?" "Yes, ma'am. And because of my need to interview Miss Kaiser here and safeguard Sarah—" "Oops," Tierney said, quickly placing and removing her hand from her mouth. "I almost said the patient's name. Because I need to interview Ms. Kaiser and safeguard the patient, I was hoping to be able to interview Ms. Kaiser back here. If we won't be in anyone's way, that is." Dr. K. Bikerman looked at Officer Tierney Rosenstock with slitted eyes before nodding slowly 3 times. "Well, yes, Officer Rosenstock. If you feel that it is necessary to interview Ms. Kaiser while simultaneously protecting your charge, then I suppose that's the only course of action that makes sense. I'm afraid I have other patients to attend," she added, looking at the 3 other women with a face as unreadable as Tierney Rosenstock's had been moments before. "I'll trust you to do the right thing, officer. We'll chat later," she said, smiling, nodding, and turning on her heel.